Hi everyone. Today is Friday and we have some more Turo news and updates. 2019 really has been such a big year of changes for the platform. A lot of systems being put into place, a lot of things changing, and it looks like there is one final change before the end of the year, or at least we think one final change, and that is with claims. And this email came out yesterday, I believe. I think it's all pretty interesting. The first few things in the emails is about fraudulent and invalid claims. And I think this is really interesting because this will weed out a lot of people. So if you are submitting a fraudulent claim, which I cannot really explain to you how somebody would do that, I'm not exactly too sure, but I'm sure that there are ways of doing this. You can be fined up to $2,000, which I think is good, right? We do want to weed out the platform from anybody who is trying to take advantage of the system, because all that does in the end is raise cost for everybody else. And then the second thing is, if you are submitting invalid claims, you can incur a fine up to $25. So invalid claims, such as what they described, was if you submit claims for wear and tear and your protection plan doesn't cover wear and tear. So for example, I have standard insurance, so standard does not cover wear and tear, and it doesn't cover anything that is under 3 inches. So, you know, if you're trying to claim for little dings and scratches that don't fall within those lines, then that can be considered an invalid claim, which then in turn could result in you being fined up to $25. They do have a little forgiveness policy in there because mistakes do happen, and you know, on your first mistake you will be forgiven, and it actually does happen. You can definitely make mistakes, and I know this because this has happened to me. Cars come back and I've noticed damage, and I was here thinking that it was from that rental, but when they go back and look at all the photos, they can identify that, oh, it was actually from a previous rental, but you just didn't notice it during that time, and then you submit it later, so then therefore it's not covered because it's too late by that time. So these things definitely do happen. So going back to kind of what I've talked about in some of the videos earlier this week and last week about dotting your I's and crossing your T's, this is more crucial than ever now, especially with these new policies in place. So you definitely want to make sure that you have your photos in place, your check-in photos, checkout photos, 24-hour rule. So make sure you get them uploaded. And before you submit your claims, and this is something that I always do now, I always go back and double check my check-in photos, pre-trip photos, to make sure that I have the clear photos that I'm looking for and that everything falls into place so that you can avoid these things. But like I said, again, I think that this is a good thing. I think that this is going to weed out people who are taking advantage of the system or unscrupulous and just, you know, trying to make money in other ways. And I think that there's going to be an adjustment period. There's going to be a period of time, which I think we're going through right now and will continue to go through for a while before the platform sort of regulates itself again, where it's going to be weeding out a lot of these people who are not really a great fit for the platform and who have other ways of trying to make money aside from just the rentals, right? So doing deals outside of Turo, taking cash for rentals, things like that. So I think it's going to help streamline the platform. And if you are on the platform right now, I think a big part of it is just hanging in there until everything kind of smooths itself out, right? This is the case for any market. If you invest in the stock market, for example, it's the same exact ideology and same mindset that you should have when you're doing that. It's like, you know, you're not supposed to freak out when things are bad and pull all your money out, because things almost always bounce back, especially in the case of the stock market. And if you just hang on until the market sort of streamlines itself and evens things out and gets better over time, then you usually always come out on top. So when times are tough and, you know, they're in the process of all these changes happening, it all sounds scary and it's like you don't know what's going to happen and you feel uncomfortable about the future. Those are the times where you got to work really hard and just kind of stick in there and just know, if you understand the bigger vision of things, just know ultimately what that outcome is going to be, and that if you can just hang on there, in the end, when things do bounce back and they do become better, which I think 2020 is going to be a really strong year for Turo, you know, you'll be sitting at the top. You'll be a top host, an all-star host. You'll have your whole system streamlined and you'll offer really good service, which in turn, you know, you'll make more money than other people. So those are the updates on that. Happy Friday. Hope you guys have a great week of rentals. November has been shaping out to be pretty strong in terms of rentals, and the demand has been there and the market's been pretty busy, which I definitely like to see, especially around the holiday season. So I hope that this continues on throughout December, and then we experience a little bit of a slowdown in the beginning of the year, but hopefully we have a strong year as a whole for the marketplace for Turo as it gets more popular. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you like my channel, be sure to subscribe, leave me your questions and your comments, and I'll definitely get back to you as soon as I can. As always, thank you guys for your support and your feedback, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye guys.